It's a system that's supposed to be used by everybody so that Obamacare can be bought by anybody. But so far, the healthcare website has worked for practically nobody. Welcome to the land of Oz. And now we find out the people who are supposed to guide us through the Obamacare maze and enter our private data, Social Security numbers, date of birth, and personal identifiable information, the Obamacare navigators, don't even go through basic background or fingerprint checks. But it gets better, ladies and gentlemen. If those navigators have a prior conviction, it will not disqualify them anyway. An outstanding warrant? No problem. In the midst of a bankruptcy? No problem. Now, forget the obvious piracy issues. Has anyone in Washington ever heard of identity theft? But then again, why would we be shocked to learn there's no screening by these Washington bozos? You remember Edward Snowden, the NSA leaker, and the Navy Yard shooter? They obviously were not properly screened. So why is it that a key part of the president's signature legislation, for which Secretary of Health and Human Services Kathleen Sebelius had more than 3 years to prepare, can't even get the website off the ground? And the administration refuses to tell us how many people have signed up for Obamacare. The reason is they don't know. And the reason they don't know is because no one can get past the first page. Simple Sebelius says she doesn't know how many people have signed up, but she does know it's getting better.
It started a little rockier than we'd like. It's better today than it was yesterday, and it will keep getting better.
Really? It's getting better? How would you know? And not to worry, she says, 85% of us already have health care, and it's only 15% of us who need to worry about this. Now, let me see if I understand this. We have spent $400 million on a system based on a 10-year-old technology that will need to be overhauled from a company from Canada with a French name who, by the way, double their profits in 1 quarter so that none of us can sign up for this miraculous health care, which so many of us need. And now, our kids, our healthy kids who don't want health care and can't afford health care, have to buy it in order to finance the whole thing. Now, initially, the administration said this burden on our children would not be used to pay for health care for illegal aliens. Well, that's a bunch of hogwash. You opened the National Mall for them to protest in the middle of a shutdown when our veterans can't even access their memorial, and you give them transgender hormones while they're in prison, and we spend $2 billion a year on a program that provides hospital emergency care mostly to illegals, and you really want me to believe that my kids are not going to be paying for those undocumented workers who you want to give amnesty to in a minute anyway. So why can't the administration tell us how many people have signed on?
Across the country, people are getting health insurance. Although the glitches are unacceptable, so is the idea of leaving millions of Americans on their own, including families across the country who now have access to health care that they did not have 2 weeks ago.
Really? What does a glitch mean? A glitch is when your cable goes out for a few seconds. This isn't just a glitch, a dismal failure. It's a damn disaster. And Jay Carney saying families have access to health care? How the hell are they supposed to access it? And you say the reason for the glitch is that the number of website visitors is extremely high, that more states are lining up than you expected. What, you didn't know how many states there are in this country? And you know what I think the heart of all this is? It's all about money. A company company called CGI, the one from Canada, you know, with the French name that I can't even pronounce, won the contract to set up the Obamacare website in October of 2011. The same company fired by the Canadian government for failing to build an online medical registry on time. And our Government Accountability Office in June predicted that the website would not be ready to go live. You remember the General Accountability Office? They're the ones who predicted the bankruptcy of Solyndra, the green energy company that we gave $500 million of our taxpayers' dollars to that went bust, just as GAO predicted. So my question, a simple one: why not use a smart, successful American company like Apple, Microsoft, Google, one with a record of success? And why is it that the biggest Obamacare contractor didn't start writing the software code until a few months ago? What does this woman, Simple Sebelius, do other than go on Jon Stewart? You and I would be fired for such incompetence.
You're fired!
But I didn't.
Get out!
Ron, I've got to fire you.
Well, I've got to fire you. Bing, bong, bong.
You're fired, Ed. You're fired.
But hey, hope springs eternal. There's good news for all of us. Since the government is here to help us, if you can't sign on, you'll make new friends with the IRS. You know, the agency that doesn't target anyone, who will now oversee the implementation of this miraculous health care law. But the real shame is what this is going to do to the future of our kids, already drowning in $1 trillion national debt. Our kids who now get to pay for this unholy Obamacare debacle.